bus, you would run down the winding country road with him, cross over stone-walled bridges, and travel past Thomas's branch line. Then you would hear Bertie's friendly greeting as he sees one of his friends pass by. His name is Tom Tipper, the postman. Every day, Tom travels cheerfully around the island of Sodor. He stops at stations collecting letters and parcels from Thomas and Percy's mail trains. Then he delivers the mail to farms and cottages far and wide. The engines know that anywhere their rails won't reach, Tom Tipper will collect their mail and deliver it safely come rain or shine. He's always ready to help load mailbags onto the trains, too. "Thank you, Tom," whistles Percy. "Yes, indeed," agrees Thomas. "You're a really useful postman." "Ah," replies Tom, "but where would I be without me van? We make a grand pair." One day, Tom wasn't at the platform. A postman they didn't know dumped the bags on the platform and disappeared. "What happened to Tom?" wondered Percy. "And his old van," said the driver. "No wonder the new postman looks cross. Trying to carry mailbags on a bicycle would make anyone miserable." Next morning, the engines were glad to see Tom back again, but he looked very sad. "The postmaster decided my van was too expensive to run. The rounds take longer on my bike. I'm sorry, I can't stop to help you." "I wish I could cheer Tom Tipper up," sighed Percy, the small engine. He was just wondering about how this might be done when his thoughts were rudely interrupted. A man was shouting at Tom Tipper. "You've got to come back to Sir Topham Hatt's office. He needs you to sign some important papers right away." "Oh, dear," replied Tom Tipper. "This is going to make me later still." He was in a hurry and being careless. He propped his bike against Percy's mail car and rushed away. "Stop!" cried Percy, but Tom was out of sight. There was worse to come. Percy's driver hadn't seen the bike and he started away. "Oh no!" cried Percy. "Now there'll be trouble." And there was. Percy's driver quickly stopped the train. Everyone came running to the scene. Tom Tipper's bicycle was in pieces. "I'm sorry, Mr. Tipper," apologized Percy. "Never mind, Percy," said the postman. "It wasn't your fault. But now I've only my legs to get the mail delivered. Whatever will happen next?" Tom Tipper soon found out. Next day, he was waiting happily for Percy. "Beep, beep," whistled Percy. "Is that a smart new van I see?" "It is indeed. That accident did me a good turn, Percy. My chief decided a new van would do the job. Much better than another bike, and worth the expense. Now I can always be on time again." "So I did help," beamed Percy. "But by accident, you might say." Stepney, the Bluebell engine, was busy talking to the other engines. It was his first visit to their railway, and he was having a splendid time. "You are very lucky engines," he said. "Your line has got everything. It's long enough to give you a good run, and you have plenty of passengers. Then you have a quarry and a mine, so you need plenty of cars. Cars are fun. I miss them on our line." Percy was surprised. All the engines thought cars were trouble. "You're welcome to take some of mine," he said, "but you'd better ask driver first." Their drivers agreed, and the two engines set off. Thomas and Toby were speechless. Stepney took the cars to the harbor. Then he picked up a load of empty ones and started back. Ahead was a cricket field. The game had just begun. Stepney and his driver had to wait at a signal. "Good," said his driver. "We can watch the game." Then there was trouble. The batsman hit the ball. It flew high into the sky toward Stepney's train. Clunk went the signal. Thump went the ball into a car, but neither driver nor fireman heard it. "Stop!" yelled the players, but Stepney didn't hear them. Come along," he puffed to the cars. "Ow, what an early ball!" cried the players. "Wake up, Caroline," they said to their old car. "The chase is on." Caroline coughed crossly and rolled down the road. Stepney wasn't hurrying. Caroline soon came up behind. "Toot, toot," she wailed. The players shouted, but Stepney was still too far away for his driver and fireman to see or hear properly. They completely misunderstood. "If those jokers want a race," said the driver, "they can have one. Faster, Stepney, faster." Poor Caroline wasn't happy at all. She rattled along at twice her usual speed. "I shouldn't be treated like this," she grumbled. "This pace is too hot for my system. It'll fuse all my circuits." Suddenly, Stepney was nowhere to be seen. "Yahoo! That silly train has run into a hole, so we can't catch it. I can go home now." But she couldn't. Her driver pounded Caroline on up the steep hill, and then down the other side toward the station. Stepney was already there when Caroline cluttered in. "We need our ball back," cried the players, and explained everything. The ball was nestled under some straw in the third car from the van. "We found it," cried a player. "We're sorry," sighed the driver. "Oh, you couldn't help it," replied the player. "Now we must get back quickly." "You'll be lucky," said the driver. Caroline looks worn out. And she was. The driver spoke to the station master and the signalman, and they all agreed on a plan. Soon they had rolled Caroline onto a flat car with a brake van coupled behind. The players crowded inside, and Stepney pulled the train back to the playing field. Everyone enjoyed watching the game. Even Caroline was pleased. She doesn't think trains silly now. They have their uses. They can save wear and tear on a poor car's wheels.